Welcome, viewers, both present and future. My name is David L. Weaver, and along with Bill Geltz, we make up the XP Guild. David's Doodles is a new show that I launched for our channel roughly about 2 weeks ago. I'm hoping that I can make this a weekly show about one in particular subject that I focus on until it's done. And then after that, I'll move on to the next one. The series right now that I'm doing is centered around Dungeondraft, our world setting of Umberhaven, and one particular area that came about within our adventure module, which is called Wilhelm Train Heist. This area is known as the Lover's Bridge and Village, in which you can see how it came about within our second run-through of said module. It will be up soon as it's being finished, being edited, and you can go check it out over there at the XP Guild's YouTube channel. By the way, we also have a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon page too, all by the same name. You can go check us out at those locations as well. Any kind of support would be greatly appreciated, so go like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, join, and so on and so forth. As far as Dungeondraft is concerned, we are not affiliated or sponsored by them in any shape or form. Pretty much, I just love using the program because it's really stupid, simple, and easy to use. As well as it creates great looking maps for your gaming experiences. With that, let's get started, shall we? As you can see here, I have already completed Lover's Bridge. And pretty much you can check that build within the first video that I did. Tonight we're going to pretty much focus on building a tack/feed store for all the farmers that live just south of the bridge. So pretty much the way you do that, the way you go over and actually build a building, you have all these little icons you can choose, and the building icon is pretty much right here. Design, building tool, wall tool, portal tool, cave tool, which we may get into later in the series, but I'm not too sure exactly when though. Maybe it's a secret hideout, or kobolds have tunneled in or something or another. So the building tool itself, you click on that, and then you have all these different floor layouts, which is basically, you know, from cobble to smart wood to wood damaged and wood interlaced. Pretty much we're going to make it a wooden floor structure. So, and it's going to be a fairly, I wouldn't say new structure, but it's definitely not going to be a damaged wood structure, which I mostly use for like rundown shacks or, you know, abandoned buildings and whatnot. So the cool thing about going this route is that you have 3 different shapes you can choose from, pretty much square, circle, and this little feature is pretty much you can put your thing and do anything you want to, as shown here, and you'll come up with a really crazy looking building here soon. See? So how you get out of that, you just undo. So we're gonna do smart wood. As far as walls is concerned, we've got battlement, cobble, concrete, stone, and wood. I think this time around we're gonna make it a stone structure. So click on that. We're gonna go with the smart wood, I think, instead of interlaced, because interlace is good, but you know, it has its defaults. So the train is pretty much a large size train, not your stereotypical train that you would run into in reality. I have a tendency to design things, then I go back and research them and realize a lot of times my drawings are way bigger than reality. So as you can see, each square I usually do is like 5 feet. So the train tracks are 10 feet wide. So the train itself, I do believe, is 20 feet or so wide. I'm not for certain on that. It will be in the Venture module for sure, which eventually you'll be able to purchase over on, I think it's the DM Guild. Can't remember exactly where we're going to put it at. So, but follow us on Facebook, and we have all the updates on that, or Twitter. So I think we're going to put the building, or the Tack/feed store, right off the main road. So I am envisioning it. So we're going to come off like 5 feet, and I envision it 30. Oh, we're in that mode. So let's go ahead and get out of that. So how I usually get out of this mode, you can just do that. There's other ways of doing it, but I usually do that mostly. So 5 feet in, and then come in. I think I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30 maybe? Yeah, let's do a 30 by 40 size building. And notice the little numbers on the side. That tells you how many squares you're using. So if you're, 5 times 6, 30, 8 times, 5, 40 feet. So really helpful. You also have another way of doing it. It is this way, and then you can get off into halves and whatnot. So I usually leave that off. So we're going to zoom in at our building. Now the cool thing about just this area in Dungeondraft alone, you can manipulate anything you see for the most part. So if you click on edge points, you'll suddenly start to see these little dots and whatnot. So you can grab from any point and just stretch it. Now mind you, this program does have glitches, but usually he's real good about updating stuff. Right now we're at the latest update, which is, I think, 9, I can't remember, 0.095 or something like that. So notice I created a little entryway. Now, by doing that, here's a little glitch that came up. So the road I actually used was the cobblestone without the wall. And how you do that, you just click on both. You got to turn off edge points. And then, oh, the glitch is not letting me do anything. So, how to fix the glitches. Each one is unique. But, so you just come over here to the select tool, select it, delete. You got to go all the way over here because I did the same thing over here too. So select, delete. Sometimes when it really gets glitchy, I just open a new program, or not so much new program, but a new map. And usually I have a, disposable map on the side. Like it's like not very big and it has really nothing in it. And I just open that and then log back into this map, or the map I'm working on. And it usually fixes this particular glitch. Which hasn't officially happened just yet. So it has in the previous video though. So and I show you how to get rid of that glitch in that video. So now we have our little entryway. So now we're going to do a door, and our doors are vast. This program is awesome as far as giving you a ton of stuff to select from. Now, in this series, I'm only going to show you the vanilla version of this program. They have what's known as assets. Assets basically allows you to design anything you want to and add it to this program. If you're not that great or just don't want to do that kind of stuff, guess what? There's a ton of really cool and amazing artists out there that has pretty much already done it for you, and you just got to go to their various areas. Just type in Dungeondraft assets on Google, and it'll pop up with a ton of stuff, and a lot of them are free to download too, which is amazing. So after that, we are going to add a door. So I think we're going to go with this door. So that looks good. And now we need to extend the actual walkway itself. So I've got it, like I said, I've got it on this setting, turn off edge points. There we go. Apparently you can't just click on it anymore. So now you've got it here. So I'm just going to extend the walkway. We'll do it all the way. Oh, another glitch. So undo. So we won't do it. Let's see if we can do it all the way. Nope. Okay. So it's not going to allow us to go all the way up to the door. So when that usually happens, usually I come over here and mess with the wall tool. This is the wall tool. And it has your basic walls in there. So we use stone. Over and under, I usually push over for the outer structure. I usually turn off shadow. But you can leave shadow on if you'd like to, and you just simply click in your selected areas, and bam, there's your wall again. Going back to the door. So hopefully eventually he gets that fixed. I'm really hoping that that's something that's been ongoing nonstop. So all right, so we got that going on. So let's go ahead and go back to our wall tool and see, or our floor, and see if we can continue doing this without the glitch happening again. Yep, see, it didn't do it again. So okay, so we got it out the building. Now let's go into the stuff that I love doing, which is objects. That's terrain. Then there's objects. So object tool, notice you've got I get it set on just illumination. So if you click on all, they have a ton of stuff. So you can do several things. You can also, so you got use tags, and tags are over here in this section. You click on use. This is so far the only stuff I've used for this build, which if you click on it, it comes back up. Now notice it's like snapping. So you've got various things down here that you can click on. Grid, you can turn that off. Snap, you can turn that off, and notice how fluent everything is now. Usually when I deal with objects and stuff like that, I just turn snap off. So we're going to leave that off for now. Tags. Notice this this was dark, and now it's not, essentially. So you've got administration, armor, and the list goes on, and it's got all kinds of selections. And up here at the tag section, you got this little menu that brings down. So notice that if I wanted, say, living quarters, or let's do furniture, because that's pretty much what we're going to be using. So you click on that, and then it brings up all the furniture that this program has in the vanilla section. So pretty much this is, like I said, a Tack / general store. So let's go ahead and put a countertop of sorts. So I guess I'm going to use we can either use the bar itself, or now notice shadow is on. If you look real closely, you can kind of see a shadow. Now watch when I turn it off. It's gone. So we can use this as the main kiosk, I guess you would call it. I don't remember exactly what it's called in retail terms. Sorry about that. But we can also use table. So right now this is a really large table. It's 20 foot by 10 feet. But I'm going to go ahead, and they have in here, right here, I think there is a desk that I love using that has this desk right here. So this desk I love using as little podiums, and you know, like when you go to a restaurant, you got the little hostess sitting behind the podium. That's what I usually like to use this desk for. So the way you enlarge it is you can push Alt and mouse key and make it bigger, or you can go over here to the scaling, and then you got rotation, which you can either play over here with this, or you can just simply use your mouse wheel. So I'm thinking this is kind of like one of those weird little feed stores that is going to have a podium, just a place for money and introductions and stuff, and then the guy is going to be out and about helping customers out. So with lots of tables or sections where the feed and things that hang about within such places. So let's go ahead. I'm thinking about, yeah, that's good. So let's go ahead and do it like that size. Oh, it's another thing. Notice the color. So this one is a colored one. Note as you come over here and read, colorable. So certain items you can change the color on. So this one is, as I will demonstrate here, now this is kind of a reddish color. So if you click on white, the outer parts become white. And notice over here, all of the colorable things that you can color change too. So I'm thinking this is going to be more in line with the actual. It's not going to be fancy, basically, so it's going to be the same color. So I'm going to click that right there, and that's probably a good space. He can stand behind it, or she can stand behind it and deal with customers, and then, you know, take their money. So now we're going to go over and let's do some tables. I think this is a rustic looking table that we can use, or we can go with that one. I think I'm going to do, that's just shelf that you can use. So let's go and put some shelves around this area as well. So do that shelf, and that shelf, and that shelf, and that shelf. And then let's go ahead and put maybe a table here up against this wall, and another one, and maybe one more at the door, roughly about right here. Now there's a neat thing that I like doing is I like taking objects in this program and turning it into something completely different. So we're gonna go back to nothing, pretty much, where I can choose anything on this list, and I'm going to choose bridge. And what we're going to do is suddenly you have a palette, and you can zoom. We'll zoom in a little bit more and get into. So this palette's probably about 5 feet. We'll put this up off in the corner. And we'll make it a fairly large palette. I mean, this thing's pretty good size. So maybe we won't make it that big. So we'll scale it down a little bit more. Let's make it 5 feet. 5 feet by a little bit bigger than 5 feet. And I rotate it and blend it in a little bit. So a little bit above, 5 feet by 6 feet. Still huge palette. And this place, like I said, is a feed store and whatnot. So let's see, it would be under sacks. So we're gonna make a place that has feed. So if you just stack it a certain way, so maybe one more like that, and there's your feed. Now the cool thing about this is that what you've done, see, if you try to come over to the select button, each one's individual, but if you just hold down left click and highlight everything, copy, and then paste, suddenly you got the exact same thing again. So we'll do 3 of these. What I like to do is take my builds in the vanilla version and recreate them on another, basically a blank canvas. And so I've got a blank canvas with all my little builds on them, from warehouse stuff like this to actual I guess you would call it electric cars or steam power cars or whatnot. They're carriages, and then I built them out to make them look like they look like something that you would see in 1890, in which Umberhaven is roughly based in. So maybe I don't like them all to be the same color. So you just select that and delete. Select that, delete, and then go, and then you can put previous tool, which is neat, and it goes back to your sacks or whatever you were using basically previous to that. So maybe let's do this one a little bit different. Maybe this one has been picked through. We'll do something like that, maybe. So that one's been picked through. So next, let's go ahead and do some barrels, shall we? So you've got, like I said, all kinds of different stuff to choose from. So we're going to do some fairly large size barrels. Not that big. Let's stack them up. Put some in the middle. And you're wondering, well, what in the world is holding these barrels in place, Dave? So down here, we can go with a piece of wood, which is I like to use as a stopper sometimes, and we can extend it out. Now notice, if you Alt and use your mouse wheel, it kind of jumps around. So if you go into scaling itself, that's when you get into your little decimal points, and you can fine tune that. Now notice that it's above everything, and this is another little feature that has called, if you click on under, suddenly now I can put that little wedge of wood under all these barrels. So we're going to put one here, and we'll put one here. And now our barrels is kind of in place. And we can do maybe another one on top of that, just to ensure it looks like it's in some kind of container of sorts. So there's that. Our shelving units. So we'll move this out a little bit more. Maybe here. Thinking our shelving units is a little bit bigger, so you can highlight them, and then this little neat feature is you can drag and make them as big as you want to or as small as you want to. So let's make them about that size. Now we want to make all our shelving units the same, so I'm going to go back over here to the select button, which it's already in, and copy. And before I paste it again, we're going to select these and just very much delete. And then paste the new ones, and there we go. So there's our barrels, our sacks. Now let's put some random stuff over here on this side. Maybe let's put some blacksmith stuff. Maybe they have some blacksmith stuff too. So usually I kind of guesstimate on how big stuff should be. Like I said, 5 feet. I'm not going to get precise to exactly, I mean, you can try. But, yeah. But the whole objective is to make this super stupid easy and do it as quick as possible. That way you can either, you know, move on to the game itself or, you know, build more stuff. And this program, you can easily get lost into builds and hours can pass by. A little small amble here, why not? Actually, let's put some on this here on the floor, and we'll do it under. That way, it kind of. Maybe do one here. We'll use this one as another one that they have, a little bit bigger. Put some bellows. We'll go back to up. Maybe they have that one. They have just a regular one. And yep. Okay, so metal bars. We can do metal bars. Now just notice this is another one of those colorable ones, so it is wood colored. So we'll go kind of a gray, and maybe that will be also underneath. Just kind of poke them out from underneath the shelf. Over. Okay, now notice I wanted to stack it over. So now we're going to get off into elevations of different products. So, or different objects for the most part. So I'm going to click on this, and this is something that they added recently. I think actually to this update, actually they did. So they've got this little thing called, because before the different layers pretty much, you had to experiment on how high you wanted things and this, that, and the other. So they added this, bring it forward and send it back. So when you click on bring it forward, bam, it makes it super easy. Okay, so we got our bars, we got our blacksmith stuff. So let's go ahead and add, I don't know, maybe we already got our sacks. We already got our, maybe some tools. Yeah, let's add some additional tools. Large, huge pitchfork. Let's shrink that down to about, yep, that looks good. So we'll do something like this. Now, unfortunately, they don't have things where they are looking down upon, so you're gonna have to experiment if you want to do stuff like that. We'll do maybe some shovels too on this particular. Do like maybe 2 or 3 shovels, maybe. I don't know if we can get a third. Yep, we can get a third shovel up in here too. We'll make this the rope table. Small rope, large ropes. And here's another neat feature. So let's go ahead and, well, let's go one more area that also has ropes. And okay, that's all the same ropes, and that's got anchors on them, so we don't really need an anchor. But if you go to terrain tool, you have what's known as a path tool. Path tool has all kinds of stuff, as you can see right here. That's how I created the railroad. But since we're doing rope, guess what they have? Rope. Rope big, rope thick, and that's a wooden fence. We don't need a wooden fence. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. And let's go ahead. This rope right now is probably way too big. Okay. Why are you not doing it? Oh, it is doing it. Okay, so once again, layers. So it is actually too big, so I'm going to do that and do this. And so we're going to go with this to 200. And we're going to drop this down. I'm thinking probably about maybe 4. So let's see if this works. Yep. So if you hold shift, you can kind of curve it around and just pick a point that you want. Hold shift, click, and then you see this little purple color. That way you can just bend it however you want to. So you can also do that same concept with buildings, and I do believe a few other things too. So I'm going to snake this little rope around a little bit more. Then we're going to stop here soon. So I think that's a good place to stop. So you just simply right click and it stops for you. So there's your rope. Homemade rope to be exact. So other than that, just keep on adding more stuff as you like to. Everything from, you got horses to instruments, which wouldn't fit this area. Yeah, let's go ahead and add, since it is a feed store, let's go ahead and add some what is known as fruit boxes that you can pretty much tailor however you want to. Fruit boxes, they're black. If you change the color suddenly, hey, guess what? You got seed boxes now. We'll put some on the table or on the shelving unit. I'll do some different colors. Maybe these are white. Go over here and do the same over here too. So maybe some of them spilled on the countertop. Make these green. Do these as potatoes. Make it box a little bit bigger. There we go. We got seeds, various things, sacks, ropes. Now the cool thing that you can do also is you can click on this. Nope. Okay. But, you know, just copy, paste, however you like, and add more stuff. From there, let's see, we got some barrels. Let's do some bigger barrels. Oh no, let's do some crates. We haven't done crates yet. So crates is right here. And notice, once again, you got the little seeds again, or the fruit boxes. But yeah, so you got various crates. So let's make these crates. Let's do a big, large stack of them. And usually I like to rotate them to give them different flavor. And switch them up sometimes too. So these are smaller ones. Then we'll just go ahead and stack them. Do one in the middle. There we go. That way it gives you a bit of character. And they won't all be jumbled together as well. Alright, so there's that. So you're probably thinking, well, does he just come in and out? And what does he do? As well as, where's the windows, Dave? So if we go back to Portal, and you notice that they have several different windows to choose from. So we're going to make this, they're going to have shuttered windows, which I do believe will look good on this place. So let's go ahead and smack one like right here. Smack one right here. And yeah, do another one here. I'll make it uniform. And maybe another one here. So from there, let's go ahead and add a different section. So instead of manipulating this wall, we'll just go ahead and just build another wall itself on the outside. So once again, I usually like to snap doing such things. And maybe this will go to an upstairs area. So from here, we'll undo this and we'll start down here actually. Make it 10 foot, why not? Kind of go at the end of the building. And then we'll make the floor and add some stairs. So this guy's pretty much well off, so, oh, not too well off. I mean, he's the only general store slash, you know, tack shop around for miles, so everybody goes to him. So he's got a nice little establishment. So add the stairs here, and another portal. Oh, do it once again, a double, and pretty much there is your general store slash tack slash feed store, you name it. So once again, thank you for joining me. The next episode, we're going to go and continue with the feed slash tack store slash general store, but we're going to do layers pretty much to the actual dimensions of the place. So we're going to do the second floor next time around. So stay tuned and catch me next week on David's Doodles. Thank you so much for joining me. Good night.